Hey, thanks and welcome back for the Cannapreneur Partners Newsbreak. I'm co-CEO Todd Sullivan. There's a report out today that cannabis legalization could generate 1.2 billion in economic activity for Virginia. As we know, the Virginia governor came out earlier after the election and said that his plan is to legalize cannabis in the state of Virginia recreationally, adult use, by the end of 2021. That would be the first state south of the Mason-Dixon line on the East Coast that legalized cannabis for adult use purposes. So it would be a huge, win for the industry and for those who believe in the domino effect. I've said before, I believe Virginia falls, and the states around Virginia start watching that tax revenue pour into Virginia from cannabis, and they're going to get on the legalization bandwagon also. No matter what the federal government does, I think the state budgets are going to push this issue on the states in 2021, especially with COVID lockdowns. And looks like we're heading for more lockdowns after Christmas or New Year's. So they're going to be desperate for tax revenue, and cannabis is a proven effective way to get that revenue. So here's what they're saying. It could generate 1.2 billion in economic activity for the state, along with 274 million in revenues. But it could take up to 5 years to reach those levels, according to a report authored by state officials. So one thing we know about cannabis estimates, it will be more than that, and it will take less time. Every estimate on cannabis as far as tax revenues or sales in a market is always too low and always too slow. When we want to build a cannabis dispensary or build something in cannabis, it costs more and takes longer than you want. But when we're looking at estimates for use and tax revenue, it's always more, and it's always in a shorter amount of time than they think. So let's talk 1.5 billion in 3 years is probably going to happen in Virginia, and over 300 million in revenues. If Massachusetts can do $1 billion in cannabis sales in, what was it, Nate? 14 months, 15 months. They took them to do $1 billion in sales. A state the size of Virginia, with the surrounding populations, I think are probably going to blow through that. So we'll see, but I think it's pretty safe to bet that these numbers are too low. Additionally, report says in 2018, about 29,000 Virginians were arrested for cannabis-related offenses. And black Virginians are approximately 3 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana-related charges than white Virginians. I mean, this could be another whole 4-hour segment we do on the racial disparities in arrests for a plant, right? Remember, folks, it's a plant that grows out of the ground, just like a tomato. But we'll save that for another time. The report goes on to talk about undoing the harms of criminalization and the disparity in arrests and the treatment of certain populations against others regarding the war on drugs and specifically in cannabis. So this is more great news. Last week we heard about Chicago being able to save 350 jobs. Colorado's passed the $1 billion in tax revenue mark. So aside from the health benefits of the plant, it's proving to be as advantageous economically. The industry pays higher. The industry is more diverse than other industries, and it's a proven recession-proof industry that generates tax revenue and produces more jobs through lockdowns, through recessions, through COVID. When all this clears up, this industry is just going to explode higher. So kudos to Virginia for getting on the bandwagon, and hope you enjoyed today's news break. Have a good one.